Hi everybody, Lee Abe here, a professor from Contemporary Writing and Production Department at Berklee College of Music. Today, I want to talk about how to set up a template for a large ensemble score with Dorico. The first thing that you want to do is to open up the Steinberg hub and then select Create New. And for now, let's say Large Ensemble Template. And you can put the composer, John Lennon, or whoever you're writing for. Now, one of the things that you want to be careful about how you should set up for the large ensemble is that you want to use the tabloid size as opposed to the letter size, because you will need to print out for a large paper size. And depending on how big your ensemble is going to be, unless it's a humongous amount of players, normally you want to go with the landscape orientation. And it's a good practice to start with many number of measures as opposed to just 4 bars at the beginning. So let's start with 100 for now. If you know the key signature, this is a good time to set it up rather than doing that later. For now, let's say F major. And you might be tempted to say create project, but rather than doing that, let's go to empty and then create the project. For now, you can add ensemble, and then let's set up a build and choose. Let's go to choose and then go to the rhythm section for jazz. You can select that, and then automatically, boom, you will see a bunch of instruments already set up. Let me enlarge this a little bit so that you can see on the screen a little bit better. But let's see, at Berklee College of Music, there's a class called Arranging 2, and we add horn section. So let's add more horns. So on the left bottom corner, there are those 3 icons, and then if you press this particular one, you can add more ensemble, and then let's this time go to build. Let's say trumpet, comma, trombone, comma, alto sax, tenor sax, and baritone sax. And we can add those instruments. Boom, it's there, which is great. In a big band world, we tend to locate the saxophones and then the brass in that score order. But in this particular class, we would like to have from high to low within the horn section. So you can just simply drag these horns, trumpet, alto, tenor, trombone, baritone sax, which is great. So now it's all set, you might think, but then for whatever reasons, the rhythm section order is now messed up. So you need to just move them to the proper place. You need to drag. Let's do that. So electric guitar, piano, upright bass, drum set, which is now great. There are a couple of things that's looking awkward. First of all, this is now, let's make sure that this is set up as a concert pitch as opposed to transposed pitch, depending on your preference or depending on your teacher's preference. And I prefer working with a concert pitch and then potentially changing to transposed by selecting this when I generate the score, depending on who you're writing for. Now let's go back to the concert pitch, and then when you write this in concert pitch, the baritone saxophone should not be in the treble clef because it plays low. You can easily change this thing by going right here and then edit instrument definition. I know it's a little annoying to have to do this, and hopefully Dorico can fix amazing Dorico team can fix this in the future. And if you just scroll a little bit, I realized that the clef for non-transposing layout, it's not set up. So you can just say, hey, for this, I want to see a bass clef, and then if you do that, boom, this is correct, and it does not affect the transposed pitch. In the transposed part for baritone sax, yes, we have to be using treble clef. So let's go back to the concert pitch, and then now this seems right, except I don't like how this is grouped because this is horn section, the rhythm section. The horn section should be bracketed, but then only the alto sax and the tenor saxophones are bracketed, grouped. So you can fix this by going to engrave mode. You can just delete this by pressing delete. And then you can just select the horns. And then right here, bracketing, you can just select the right kind of bracket. Now all the horn sections are grouped properly. So this is great. But then there are a couple more things that that would be pretty useful when you're writing for a large ensemble. First of all, you don't really see these amazing bar numbers. I mean, you can see it as you're working on it, but when you print out, this is not gonna show up. When you're conducting, it's convenient if you can say, hey, let's start from measure 25, or let's start from a measure 34. So in order for us to do that, we want to see the bar numbers on the bottom. In order for you to do, you go to the layout option, and then apparently you go to bar numbers. And if you go to bar numbers, you first will not see that the bar numbers are supposed to be on every bar. So you want to say every bar. I want to see it on every bar. And if you apply it, you would see it on every bar, except it's in a little annoying location. We want to see on the bottom. So make sure that you would put this. Let's see, where is it? Show below the bottom, below bottom stuff of system, and you do uncheck show above top stuff of the system, just so that you know this does not affect the parts. This just affects on the full score, so don't panic. And you want it to be centered on the bar, okay? And I think this is good. This is looking good. But if you apply, as you will see, you don't see the first measure. So you need to check show first bar number when shown every bar. Boom, and then this is good. You may not want these numbers to be too close to the drum set, which I don't actually. So you just need to have a little more space, minimum distance from staff. Let's say 4 spaces. And if you do that, it's going to be moved down a little bit. I personally still don't like how this looks. I want this to be a little bit bigger, and then maybe like with the bold font, you can just right click this thing, I believe, and then edit font. And right now this is 9.0. I probably prefer something like, let's say 12, and then bold italic. And if you do that, I like this so much better. This is easier to see. Or maybe like I'm being just too old. I don't know. But when I'm conducting, I much prefer this. And I'm sure you will. A few more things. I mean, you can start with this, but this doesn't follow the harmonic rhythms. In general, the music does go with like the structure of 4 bars or the 8 bars. So I prefer starting, I prefer that I start writing with the clear looking harmonic structure in mind. So rather than having like 11 measures or 23, whatever, I prefer having 8 bars per page. In order for you to do this, is simple. Go to library and then go to layout option. And obviously that's about the systems. So if you press this, and then I believe if you go to a scroll, and then you will see this casting off fixed number of bars per system. And then as I said, I want this to be 8 bars. If you press this, boom, this is great, right? You have 8 bars, 8 bars. So each page you see 8 bars. But if you go to the end, you will see the measure like this. This could be okay, but I actually don't like this as much. So the reason why this happens is, I'll go back to the layout options, and then if you go to the spacing, note spacing to be more precise, it says only justify final system in flow when more than 50% 4. So this is not 50% 4. That's why this is like this is looking like this. So I just want to uncheck this. I mean, it's up to you. But like if you don't uncheck this, hang on, let's do apply. So this looks much better, or maybe a little worse. But when you fill this page with notes, or potentially like move 2 more measures into this particular page, this is gonna look much better, trust me. So I highly recommend that you go to the note spacing, and then in the score layout option, and then you do what I just did. Now this is looking pretty good, but I personally prefer a few more things. So on the second page, on the third page onward, you do see the title right here, but I don't like having the page number right here, left, right. So like the way that I prefer is to have the page number right here. So in order for you to do that, you go to the engrave option, and you see on the right hand side a default, and then the first, you can just change this. The first means you are going to be changing this first, how the first page is looking like. But I want to change the rest, which is the second page onward. And if you double click this, you will see this. I know this is a little tiny, so you can make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Now you see the page number right here. So I just select this. I'm just selecting this. I know it's kind of hard to see. And then I did Command A and then Command X to just cut. And then I double click right here next to the project title. And then you can just put the page, and then this will actually put the page numbers here. But I do have my particular way of formatting right here. So I want to have a little space between the project title and page. So I press the space, and I want to have a hyphen. I mean, it's all about what you want. And I select this thing, and I do press the Command I for the italic, and I do prefer having the project with the bold font, so I'm doing Command B for that. And then look at this, like this is applied to the right page as well. And if you say apply and then close this, boom, you will see the title right here with 2, 3. But what I forgot to do is to add the word page. So I go back right here. I know it's a little tiny. The page. So page 2, page 3, page 4, and stuff like that. So let's go back. Boom. Now you can see the title, page 2, page 3, page 4. And I much prefer that rather than having left and right and left and right and stuff like that. And if I go back to the first page, I also prefer having the title with the bold font. So let me see. Let's select all and then Command B, and I much prefer this. Now, another thing that you want to add is the arranger. So underneath the composer, the project composer, you want to say, you know what, like let me just select this because that probably is a little easier to start with. And then project composer. Okay, it's a little hard to see right here. Let me scroll this. No, you can't see this. Okay. I'm just changing this composer. I know this is a little hard to see, everybody. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, you know what? Like I think this is a little easier to see. So I'm just changing this to composer. From composer to arranger, and then arranged by. And then I do prefer having the lyricist next to the composer rather than on the left. So I just, copied and pasted, or cut and pasted actually. And then the common practice is that you would put the slash. So now if I apply this and then close this, boom. So you will see the project lyricist and then the project composer arranged by, and all you need to do is Command I, and you can just put those information. If the arranger is like Lee Abe, you just type it up. And then if the lyricist is Paul McCartney, I don't know if I'm spelling his name right, but let's see, apply. So Paul McCartney. And I have a feeling that this is a wrong spelling, but for now, that's okay. So this is what I want to see. I think this is pretty much it. But, to be really picky, I actually don't like the spacing and everything. I have a feeling that if I put the chord symbols and the articulations and stuff like that, I will start to see some collisions. You can just select, you can just go to library and layout option, and then go to page setup. Right now, this is size 3, 7 millimeters. And I tend to go with probably like a size 6. And then this looks much better. And then there is a less chance that you will see the collision. Before I finish, let me tell you one thing. When you generate the PDF file, or when you do print out the actual paper, obviously you need to go to print, Command P. But when you do this, even though you set it up as a tabloid and then as well as the landscape, these tend to show like this. Let's go to graphics actually. But let's go to printer though. I mean, you definitely want to change this to the tabloid size. And landscape. So now this is the right size, and then this is the right kind of printer. I mean, score orientation is what I meant. I'm sorry. The printer is right, actually. I'm printing out from Berklee College of Music. And then when you do generate the PDF, you would go to graphics, and then you will see right here, you see the grade tabloid, and then this is now definitely the landscape. So this way, you can export with the correct size. I think that's it. And then this is going to be beautiful. Once again, I explained how to set up a template for the large ensemble. If you want to add more voices or the instruments, all you need to do is to go to setup, and then you can add, like for instance, lead vocal. And then you can just add. Beautiful. And then you obviously need to drag. And the more instruments or the vocals that you add, there are higher chances that you need to go to layout again and then potentially make it a little bit smaller so that there will be no collisions. In this case, I probably prefer the other way around, but let's just leave the way it is. I think that's it. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy writing music. This is Lee Abe from Contemporary Writing and Production Department at Berklee College of Music. Enjoy.